boy Achilles. We're back. Alright. So let me get started with what I'm about to say. I've been noticing a lot of things about business or whatnot in terms of profitability, profit and loss. Otherwise, my day been good. I like start that. It was getting better. Things are getting better, I guess. But at the same time, I just start realizing a lot of stuff. In terms like streaming and certain stuff, people shouldn't be spending a boatload of money chasing something that's not necessarily beneficial. You always need backup plans. You always need something to basically come through. Now, I basically have been like researching Kick. Seems like a great platform, but their server and then their capacity is pretty bad in terms of that, so they need to reinvest money into that. I know they signed people with all these huge deals, and I think the guy, XQC, he broke the website. He had like, between a $70 million and $100 million deal. Honestly speaking, it's going to be interesting to see who's underwriting that. Well, I'm not necessarily saying underwriting that, but obviously there's going to have to be some big players to be definitely footing that bill. I'm sure they got it, this, that, and the third, but a platform and making that good of incentives, I'm a fan of it. I'm going to leave because it's not a good landing spot, and that's actually far. I'll get another one. But what I'm thinking about in terms of business, too, with that, the early adopters or the people with the massive crowds or people like that, people who can get a maximum amount of streams, they're pretty much their fan base is going to follow them for the most part. Let me check Myth. Myth is not, for as far as my perspective, I don't think that Myth, he's on a new team. Let's see what he's doing. Myth. Myth doesn't even do video games, as far as my concern. What I'm saying, he doesn't do video games anymore. And that's 100% fine in terms of, like, you know, business, in a business sense, but joining all these different teams and then management, I know my sister got mad when I said that I would question someone's thing of management. Like, if someone with no type of credentials has managed, like, let's say someone's a club manager or whatnot, not even a professional place or nothing like that, or one of these people who's like from the hood or management, like let's say Woven or somebody like that. These people are not managers. These people are literally pimps. They're taking these people's money or whatnot, and these people, whoever the person is, literally becomes a piggy bank for these people, and that's not cool. And they staying at 5-star hotels or going to clubs and spending stuff on liquor and certain stuff. You're going to be broke soon. So, And that's how I think with business. Business is not necessarily one of those things people can go ahead and expend like a lot of cash. Because these people, like someone makes 10 to 15,000 a gig, the manager max is gonna get like what? They're gonna take a fee of like 15 to 20%, not including entourage and then people doing stupid stuff. Not even account for that. And then before you know it, then hotels. Spending money at a 5-star hotel for the most part is not worth it. I stay at like 4-star hotels, and I feel like it's good. The amenities and stuff is good. As long as you go to some place and it's comfortable, you can get your rest, you can do this, that, and the third, you'll be fine. Like, you'll be fine. In terms of like business, in a business sense, you put in a bill for like, you know, $600 a night. Let's say someone does like a club performance and they're going out here and let's say they do for 3 nights in a row. $600 and then three nights in a row. That's $1,800. Out of that 10 and 15 to 20%, that's 8,000. 8,000 and then all the stuff, that's 6,200. Let's say they get a couple bottles of like 1942 or something like that. It's another 300. They buy people drinks, all this type of stuff. That's how people go broke. Where these guys go to? But yeah, I think a lot of stuff, when you really think about it, is pretty bad. That's where I'm getting my points across. Everybody's a customer at the end of the day. Like, for me, I don't think that, you know, business is pronounced. There's like one time I went to this hotel, for instance, and it was very outdated. Might have been a nice hotel in like the 70s, but it did not do any renovations on it. And then for a period of like 5+ years, they basically knocked the whole thing down and built like a Hilton, and it was like in downtown DC. They did not do any type of upgrades, renovations, or anything. And when I went there, they had like 1980 or late 1990 doggone TVs in the room was outdated. And they were charging premium dollars for the room, and it just really wasn't worth it. So long story short, with business, for me, you gotta do what the market allows, but some stuff is just predatory. Like, if someone had to ask me what I think about, like, you know, business on an average day basis, like, if a hotel room, I like a good hotel room in price, like a good 3-star, in my opinion, is going to be around $130 a night. Nothing more, nothing less. Like, I'm not about to be unrealistic. Probably between 130 and 150. And I think about how criminal certain stuff is. Like, you know, a $15 an hour job is terrible. For one, when you think about how much it costs to live. I met people in California who were working or whatnot, and they were around my age, real cool. Just that in the third, they'll go in school or whatnot. They're probably getting like $18 an hour. And rent and stuff is like $3,000. So you can only imagine it's going to be like a group of like 5 or 6 people. That's pretty bad, for what it's worth. But yeah, me personally, I don't think that a lot of this stuff is sustainable in terms of business. No way. I'll get back what I'm saying. But yeah, $15 an hour is not enough money to live. It's not. So, you think about gas. You know, with a lot of jobs, I would say it's poverty pimping. That's exactly what it is. And I understand that companies, they definitely have to have people. The organization is huge. They have salaries to pay. And sometimes they're losing money. They are losing money. Like, I know this business that I went to not too long ago, they would allow people to take like they'll have a school to teach people how to cook food. Cook like hibachi type of food that was like $3,000. And then people will work there, you know, get their training or whatnot, be a cook or chef, make a decent amount of money. But then I realized at a certain point, when you sell, like, you know, a course or something like that, people work for your company, people want to leave, and I mean, they have every right to do that. And then, because they do that, they can start their own, like, chef company or catering company, or come to people and cook the food, do the same thing, and then demand a premium. Like, you know, there's a guy I know, or I used to, he don't work there no more, but he's like, he'll come to people's house and cook the food for like $50 a person. Now, that's pretty steep. I'm not gonna lie, that is pretty steep. Because it's pretty steep, like, in all honesty, I think people have it to a certain extent, but then again, it's only for special occasions. And $50 is not bad. I mean, I went to a restaurant like a month ago. It was $150 a person. Literally $150 a person in downtown San Diego. But the food was good. But it was a steakhouse, a Brazilian steakhouse called Fogo de Chao. That business model, I think, is good. Yeah, paying that certain type of money is not for the everyday person. So it's not exactly about how much money people spend. And then two, if you want to know my thoughts on business and how I view businesses in general, I think most businesses, they know that they have a specific type of like niche to a certain extent. Like, to me, you know, there's a difference between Benihana and, you know, there's a difference between Nobu. Both of them are great. I think Benihana has like what, some like $10 egg fried rice or something like that. So anybody can go in there. Nobu, it's a wait. Everybody go to Nobu. You know who you can see, and also too, they make priority for, you know, celebrities and whatnot. That's not necessarily even the most like expensive steakhouse or whatnot people can go to. There's other stuff. People go to, other nice establishments as well, like Boa. Boa's a steakhouse in LA. I think it's pretty decent for what it's worth. In terms of like, business, having all these different steakhouses is good. People have a variety, people have a choice. And sometimes, people want to go and spend, money where they know where it's at. Like Nobu, I think they got like a Wagyu, basically grass-fed beef or whatnot. It's like $40. I searched it up not too long ago. And, I mean, that's kind of expensive, I'm not going to lie. But then you have other places like steaks and stuff, it's like $55. I'm back. But yeah, money in a sense, like $10 difference between $10 and $15 in the grand scheme of things. I know people know that there's a big difference. But I was thinking about earlier today, like these restaurants and stuff are paying people $8.25 or something like that. The minimum wage is like $7.25 where I'm at, so I think $7.25 I guess is a baseline. I disagree with that. But you can't necessarily go around and pay people how can I put it? I would say you can't go around and pay people how can I put it this way? Like a 14-year-old or something like that. I feel like you could get a 14-year-old like $10, but you can't give everybody $10, It has to be gradual. But $7.25 is unacceptable. For a grown person, that's terrible. But $8.25 working a fast food joint. $8.25, and then the stuff you selling is like $15 or $20 for a chicken meal. You can't even afford that. You have to work 2 hours. That's terrible. That's criminal. But yeah, in terms of food, water, and beverage, man, everybody needs those three things: food, water, and beverage. Not even including alcoholic beverages. That's another story for another day. That's overpriced. But food is overpriced for the most part. I went to Chick-fil-A earlier, and Chick-fil-A was trash. Like, honestly speaking, a lot of these fast food places, even a chicken joint that's known for chicken, Popeyes, KFC. I mean, you can have good days with it. I mean, it's just food, but for the most part, nah. And the hassle you got to deal with trying to get that food, nah. I'm dead. I hate that. I hate that I died so quick. Fortnite. Like, I'm just still thinking about like these jobs. I think about jobs and meetings a lot. Like, you know, if you go to do a job for a certain point, to me, I think certain jobs they serve a purpose, but meetings and certain stuff are kind of controversial in my opinion. Working for yourself or working for like with your skill set, to me, is vital for survival, in my opinion. Like if someone works as an analyst for a company, let's just say someone's an analyst, let's say an entry level analyst for, I don't know, a data entry company. I want to say low end to giving these people about $62,000, which is not bad. So that's like what, around like $5,200 before taxes and stuff. Then you gotta deal with rent. But I think for the most part, these jobs get ready to get going quick. Now I know my professor, he said something about these companies too. They'll go hire somebody like me that says, I graduated like at this point almost about 2 years ago. Man, I just graduated again from a different college doing something else with like jewelry, certified in diamonds and colored stones to an extent. I'm about to continue that, trying to become a graduate gemologist or whatnot. Everybody, that's kind of the most in-demand thing. Because people want to learn about gemstones and people want to know whether or not this gems have been treated or whatnot, or what type of things have happened to these stones in a sense and how that affects the price. So, business-wise, what I'm seeing with the jobs or whatnot, I'm seeing a lot of these jobs, they're doing alright. Like, people are getting like between $15 and $23 an hour. I've been looking for jobs a lot. I might apply this other job. I don't know if I'm necessarily 100% going to get it, but might as well. The last job I had, that was alright to a certain extent, but I guess the service industry, in my honest opinion, they don't pay that much. I feel like, even with work, I think work is kind of exploitative in a sense. Like, you're paying someone, let's say $12 an hour. Let's say you have a degree, you stay in a place for 7 years, and you have no type of thing to become a manager. To me, what I know, I can make thousands of dollars a day. I know I can make thousands of dollars a day. It's not cap at all. I probably should have left this lobby because of where I landed, but yeah. Another thing I'm still thinking about, people say that, jobs or, meetings. I think every place should have a meeting about business or whatnot, but, and like, again, in terms of like a job, you having things in a downward trend of like business. Every industry has that. Like, if you're in a sales position, like with cable, that's one of those things you have to be real about. It's just a sales job in general. Your stuff is about foot traffic. And bro, ain't no way that guy just killed me like that, man. Man. Kristaps Porzingis. Ronaldo, speed net Ronaldo, that's cool. Speed met Ronaldo. Ronaldo's, I think he's wearing that Jacob and Co. Tourbillon or whatnot. Your watch is not worth that $60,000. I don't know if people can do watch charts to Jacob and Co. If a watch is not even worth that, you're gonna lose a lot of money with Jacob. Rolex can even lose a lot of money. Your watch is 100% not gonna lose money. Other people don't tell people. I think the biggest thing for people is not necessarily inventory, it's how quick people are able to sell the price, make their percentage or whatnot, and same thing with cars. Watches, they can appreciate, and then again they can depreciate, like the Lefty Spray reference number 126720 VTNR. Retail is like around like 11,000, I say 500 max. And today the price is around 23,000. So if someone was looking to get that watch or whatnot, if someone was in the business, they would probably want to get it around, I want to say 17. And they're able to sell it for like $19.75. They still make their profit, but normally the guys like to make like 10% or more. But that watch at all-time high was like 47 to 50,000, and that it wasn't really worth that. The same thing with the 116500 LN. That was like retail for it was like 14,000. It's called the Panda, the Rolex Daytona Panda, and it's like 14,000 at an all-time high. It was like 32, and it's cooled down, so it's like 24. It's like 24, between 23 and $24,000 now. So if someone bought that, they got burned. Like someone had asked me what's the safest watch to buy. There's really nothing necessarily safe. Even RM isn't even safe. Because RMs can be liquidated to a certain extent. The RM 7201 Lifestyle chronograph was like 70. It was like not 70. It was like $700,000. Like the white one, the white 7201 chronograph was like at least $700,000. And today, it is worth around, I say, $335,000. So that's not a good investment. Nothing like that would be a good investment. And honestly speaking, nothing at a certain point is an investment at that point. If you spend all that money, I mean, I know people say the luxury watch market is outperforming the stock market, which to a certain extent, I do agree. But why is that? Why these people, well, the companies are artificially inflating the prices, and then I think the luxury watch market is like a $20 billion industry, so a lot of companies or whatnot, they're doing a luxury, not necessarily luxury, they're doing certified pre-owned. They'll go and buy back the watches, put a tag on it. Basically, if it's losing its paperwork, they have all the stuff in the system. They can go back and basically doctor up some box papers and everything, service, everything you need to know about the watch. You're paying like a $30,000 premium over, and pretty much screwed. And think about the retailers. What can I say about the retailers? The retailers, the people, like the salespeople, I don't think they've 100% can master exactly the difference between certain models. Now, you can have a regular GMT Master 2 Pepsi with the black dial, but then you can have the Meteorite Pepsi, and that's a whole lot more expensive. They don't get these guys, like, you're not necessarily experienced to deal with the watches that are out. Because if you ever step foot in an authorized dealer, to a certain extent, last time I did that was a while back. Let's go. For the vibes. Shotguns reload faster. Let's go. Oh my god. In terms of business too, like just the way things are, the most important part of business is definitely the supply stuff, procurement, allocation, retrieval, and then the entry of it. Because a lot of authorized dealers for like these places, they don't know what they're getting. So they could be getting only a handful of Daytonas, and people have to spend like, thousands and thousands of dollars. It doesn't even matter if someone spent, $400,000 or something. They're not going to be able to get the watch they want, even though they spent like hella money. I mean, that's sad. Like, if you spend that much money, I think you should, to a certain extent, be able to get at least maybe 1 to 2 watches that you want a year if you spend that kind of money. I know people probably like, what's the most expensive watches that have been out? I want to tell you, at least the most expensive watches out have been the 5711 Tiffany dial. That's been one of the most expensive watches within the year. And retail for it was like $50,000. It went to auction. Someone bought it for $6 million. And today, I will say it's probably worth around 2.8 to 3.1, but extremely rare, and I would not ever wear that out. I think it's a collectible piece of art, but yeah, that watch is not worth no $6 million. It's just some paint, a Tiffany and Co. stamp, and it was for charity. So that right there, I mean, it's cool in theory. I appreciate the art, but it's nothing special about it. It's a date-only watch. Nothing special. It's not like it's a minute repeater, split-second chronograph, tourbillon. It's not none of that. It's just a regular date-only blue paint watch. I was looking at this other job too. People were looking at talk about being a watch specialist, or no, I'm not going to say the company, but their signature line is called the Monaco. I feel like you know where I'm going with this. That watch is ugly for one. It's ugly. Someone said, you know, you care too much about, you know, getting, you just trying to get paid at what cost. If I know that watch, someone's going to pay $8,000, they can get themselves a Submariner, Rolex, and really not lose any money, or Tudor. I'd rather have someone go and get a Tudor or whatnot and save that $4,000 or whatnot, and keep it going from there. Because, you know, once you lose that type of money, you're screwed. $8,000 on a Tag Heuer Monaco. Now, some Tag Heuer Monacos are rare to a certain extent. Like, they have this one that was released for in the Gulf states. It's like brown. And I think that's around like $15,000. But at the same time, it's not, everybody's taste and needs is different. It's a watch. But like anybody had to ask me what I think about, like, you know, this business in a whole. People have to pay a lot of money for rent. Like all these companies that hit their percentages, that have people on the ground trying to sell. I feel like I can sell stuff, but I can't just sell anything. Like, you know, the back of a product alone is not convenient enough for people to spend their money. That's one. Two, sometimes the product doesn't sell. And instead of companies realizing that you can't go out here and put a marketing campaign or do stuff, give people the tools to succeed, or give people an unrealistic expectation to be met on a shoestring budget. Like if you spent, you know, companies that are forced to do that. I feel like there's a reason why Richard Mille is like top, because he doesn't have a huge supply of watches, for one. His watches are for the 1%. And some of his watches are not that expensive on average. Like if you get one of those rectangular RM16 or RM28 or RM32, those watches are RM33. Those watches are like $76,000. And they're going to still retain that amount, but that's still a lot of money. And a relative amount of, pretty much everybody can afford that. Same thing with Rolex. Rolex, I mean, who can afford Rolex? Rolex is kind of entry level. Well, it's not necessarily entry level. They got great watches to a certain extent, like the Date Just, the Daytona. I think It's okay. GMT Master 2s, I don't like GMT Master 2s. Submariner, I really don't like it. Diving watches, I really don't like diving watches. Let's see. Who else makes a halfway decent watch? To me, all around, it's about branding and marketing. Like I said, certain places they only have a handful of stuff. They're not about to spend a lot of money. I think Tag Heuer, they have a good presence. Like they have a lot of flagship stores and boutiques. And their product is very, it's very accessible. I think people can get a Tag Heuer for like $2,000 to $3,000, but the watch is overpriced. Imagine paying, $3,000 for a stainless steel watch and it's in quartz. It only costs them max $600. It's not a good investment. Rolex has stainless steel watches, but at least you'll get your money back. Like the 116-500 LN, that's stainless steel. It's a stainless steel Daytona. It's like $14,000 retail, and today you can get it for like $23,000. So it's not necessarily that bad. Like if you actually had that and got it at retail, you would be good. You could have made like $9,000. So watches, in my opinion, they're a great investment. You can move on. You keep the money. If you buy watches and you just sell them, just boost your income. You're able to get like some good pieces. Then that's the move. I know someone said that the secondary watch market is dead. I agree to disagree with that one. Because a collector is a collector, but I think the problem is, again, with anything, it's not about what you pay. It's about the market price that they came to liquidate it quick. And did you make money on it? Not everything you're going to be able to offset a loss, so something to think about. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to walk. Alright, y'all, I'm be out.